Welcome, you guys. So, I wanted to introduce you to your next project that we're going to do, and it's metalwork. It might not look like metalwork, but it is. You're actually using a form of metal. It's called aluminum. And the reason why I thought it would be a perfect project for us to do when we're doing our remote learning is because almost every house that I've ever been to has tinfoil. So, all you need is about a 12 by 18-inch tinfoil sheet for this project. But I'm going to introduce you to this project, and I'm also going to introduce you to an amazing artist. He's a sculptor. His name is Alberto Giacometti. You have to say it like that. Even though he's not Italian, still sounds Italian. So this is an example of some of Alberto Giacometti's work. He's actually from Switzerland, and he actually was born in Switzerland, and then he started doing artwork in France. But you can see that he did a really distinct style, really long, thin legs, very tall sculptures, very minimal, which means really thin, not a lot of detail, intentionally left them rough. All of these sculptures are bronze. Really an amazing artist. And he worked mostly in the 50s, 1950s, and 60s. So coming along that Giacometti style, I thought, let's sculpt out of tinfoil. So basically, here are other art classes ideas that they worked with. As you can see on the left-hand side, there are some that actually made sculptures and then glue them to a piece of paper and then trace the shadow, which is an interesting idea. You could certainly do that. Like in the middle, this class actually did the sculptures, but then did them as doing different sports and activities, giving them little props to make. Here's one that looks like she's playing tennis with a big skirt. Here's a dog. Here is a bunch of Giacometti style people, and here's a skateboarder. I love that one too. I did a video to specifically walk you through how to make these in my art room. There are little doofy things here and there, but go ahead and watch that. It's in both this presentation and it's attached to your Google Classroom, so you can watch that. But basically, here's the flow map of what you're going to do. As we do with everything, we're going to plan. Artists always plan. So you're going to sketch your design out in a scrap piece of paper. Usually we do it in our sketchbook, but you'll just do it on a scrap piece of paper. It doesn't have to be pretty. I just want you to think, do you want a tall, thin one like the artist that we studied, or do you want a shorter, fatter one? Do you want really long arms, really long legs? That's going to depend on how big of a piece of foil you want to start with. So plan it first. Then you're going to get out a piece of tin foil, and I showed you that you're going to basically draw two lines and then one line in the center, and you're going to cut along those lines. Watch the video and you'll see specifically how to do that. Then basically you start balling up the arms, each arm, the head, and the two legs. And then once you get it all balled up and it's pretty solid, then you can start bending it into different positions. And the cool part is that it will stay. Once you're done with that, how we're going to be turning in our artwork is you're going to take a picture of it and then post it to the Google Classroom. And that way I can see it and I can mark it off that you turned it in, and the rest of the class can see it as well, because that's important for you guys to see each other's work. Now, this might take some people a long time depending on how much detail you add and how much time you take to make it. So if you are done early and you want to and you have the materials to do it, try an extension of building something different. Make a little animal, a pet for your person that you make. There are some examples that are very, very cool. Another one, and I don't know, I think you'd have to be crazy to try this, but I just was fascinated by it. A couple years back, there was a thing that went over the internet that was basically called Japanese Polished Aluminum Foil Ball Challenge. And basically, what somebody did in Japan was they just took an aluminum foil ball, because it is the metal aluminum, and they balled it up and they took a hammer and they just hammered it down and hammered it down and compacted it and compacted it. Then they actually started polishing it, and they had industrial polishers, but they polished it until it actually looked like number 4. I cannot believe that ball and started with that aluminum ball right there. I did find a YouTube channel where a father and daughter tried it, and it looks like it took a lot of time. But if you have the time and you have the stuff and it's okay with your parents, give it a shot and see what it looks like. I might try a miniature version of it, and I'll show you what that looks like if I get it. Good luck, you guys. I cannot wait to see what your sculptures look like. See ya.
He's alive!